What did Rhaegar Targaryen say to Lyanna Stark that made her leave her home, her family, and her entire future behind, knowing full well that a war might follow? Because if you know anything about Lyanna Stark, you know that love alone doesn't come close to explaining it. Hi everyone, I am Sheen. Welcome to Friends of the First Men. On this channel, I discuss theory videos on the Song of Ice and Fire. If you're new here, welcome. Let's establish who Lyanna actually was, because the story tends to flatten her into a symbol. She was fierce. Described repeatedly as Arya-like, someone who preferred a sword to a gown and earned it from her family without apparent shame. She was loyal, deeply so, to the people she loved. And she was clear-eyed. She told Ned directly that Robert would never be faithful, not as a complaint, but as an assessment. She saw people accurately. This is not a girl who runs away on impulse. This is not a girl who trades her family for a feeling. She also understood what her disappearance would mean. The Starks were not a minor house. Her betrothal to Robert Baratheon was a political alliance of enormous consequence. Vanishing with a married crown prince, the son of the Mad King no less, would not be quietly forgiven. She knew this. So whatever Rhaegar said to her, it had to be more than "I love you." It had to be something that made leaving feel not just worth it, but necessary. Something she could not walk away from, even knowing the cost. To understand what Rhaegar might have shown her, we have to understand what dragon dreams actually are in this world. They are not vague impressions. They are not metaphors. They are specific, granular, and verifiable. The kind of thing that, when it comes true, you cannot explain away. Daenerys the Dreamer saw the doom of Valyria 12 years before it happened. Not a feeling of dread. A vision specific enough that her father uprooted the entire family to Dragonstone on its basis. A civilization-ending catastrophe, foreseen and escaped because one girl saw it clearly enough to be believed. Then there's Darren, called the Drunk from the Dunk and Egg stories. He drank to forget his visions. He told Dunk he had seen him standing next to a dead dragon before Baelor Breakspear ever fell. Not someone you love will die. The exact scene, the exact figure, specific enough to be meaningless, until suddenly it wasn't. Now consider Rhaegar. Bookish, melancholic, withdrawn. And then one day he put the books down and decided to become a warrior. Not gradually. Suddenly. That is not the behavior of someone who read a compelling argument. That is the behavior of someone who saw something. He carried that vision for years, and everything he did, the obsession with prophecy, the fixation on a third child, the crowning of Lyanna at Harrenhal, reads as a man executing a plan he didn't choose but felt compelled to follow. He didn't argue Lyanna into anything. Arguments can be refuted. What he showed her could not. Here is where the theory lives. Rhaegar takes Lyanna to a weirwood, a heart tree, the kind the North is full of, the kind her family has prayed at for thousands of years, and she places her hand on it, or stands before it, and she sees. What she sees is not a warning. It is not a prophecy in the abstract. It is herself. She sees the Winterfell crypts. She sees a statue with her own face, carved in stone, looking sad. She is buried there, in the place where only lords and kings of Winterfell are laid to rest. A place she has no conventional right to be. And standing at her tomb is a boy she has never met. She understands immediately what this means. She is going to die in the South, young, and be brought home. And that boy, whoever he is, whatever he becomes, is going to come to Winterfell and stand over her grave. She does not see her father screaming in a throne room. She does not see her brother riding to his death. The vision shows her the destination, not the full cost of the journey. And so she makes the choice that someone who has seen their own death can make. She goes anyway, because the vision tells her something beyond her own ending matters. The Tower of Joy, Lyanna dying, Ned arriving too late. We know she made him promise something. We know it haunted him for the rest of his life. And the conventional reading, protect Jon, hide him from Robert, is true as far as it goes. But it doesn't explain the guilt. And it doesn't explain the crypts. Lyanna Stark is buried in the Winterfell crypts. That should not be the case. The crypts are for lords and kings, the rulers of Winterfell, their line of succession, not daughters, not sisters. There's no precedent for it. Ned put her there, which means she asked to be there. because she had seen it. She knew that was where Jon would find her. The tomb is not just a grave, it is the appointed place, the meeting point. She is telling Ned, this is where it has to happen. And so the promise wasn't only protect him, it was take my bones home, put me in the crypts, and when the time comes, bring Jon to me. Tell him who he is. Ned brings Brandon's remains alongside hers, which is the quiet, practical genius of it. One sibling's bones raised no eyebrows. Two siblings grieve together. That reads as devotion, not as the fulfillment of a dying girl's specific, unusual final request. Ned keeps half the promise. He takes her home. He buries her in the crypts. He raises Jon, protects him, lies to everyone he loves, including his wife, to keep the boys safe. And he carries guilt that has no right to be there. If the promise was only about safety, he succeeded completely. Jon is alive. Jon is hidden. Job done. But the guilt is a failure guilt. It has the specific weight of something left undone, not something done right. A man who kept his word doesn't look like Ned Stark looks every time Lyanna's name is spoken. He was waiting. That much is clear. He tells Arya in King's Landing, when she asks about Jon's mother, that the time isn't right. Not I won't tell you. Not you don't need to know. The time isn't right. He has a plan. He's watching for the correct moment to take Jon somewhere, down into the crypts, to the statue with the sad stone face, and say, here's your mother, and here is what she made me promise you. And then Joffrey signs his death warrant. The gap between Ned hasn't told him yet, and Ned never gets the chance, is where Jon Snow's entire life falls. He joins the Night's Watch because nobody stops him. He grows up not knowing, searching for himself in a wall of ice. Because the conversation that was supposed to happen in Winterfell's crypts never did. Jon goes back to the crypts. Over and over in the story he is drawn there. Standing in the dark, looking up at her stone face. Feeling something he cannot name and does not understand. He keeps showing up to a meeting that was arranged for him before he was born, by a mother who saw it in a vision and died trying to make it possible, and an uncle who meant to honor it and lost his head before he could. Lyanna Stark did not run away with Rhaegar Targaryen because she loved him. She went because she saw where she was going to end up, and she decided it meant something. She arranged everything she could arrange from a deathbed at the edge of the world. And his own longsword on a hill in King's Landing undid all of it. Thanks for watching. If this theory changed how you see Ned's promise, or Jon's visits to the crypts, let us know below.